Plethora of huge races on Belmont Stakes weekend, obviously headed by the Belmont Stakes, but none are bigger than the Hillendale Met Mile. And the best way to play it in all the races is through NYRABets. Head on over to NYRABets.com, use the promo code Belmont25. We'll match up to $200 of your initial deposit. And for Belmont Stakes weekend, give you that free $25 bet. The Met Mile is headed by Cody's Wish, and he is absolutely the horse to beat in this race. He's won 5 straight races. His win last summer in the Forego over heavily favored Jackie's Warrior, that really solidified him. A big win, the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. That was around 2 turns. These 1-turn races are much better for Cody's Wish in his closing kick. And coming off the layoff, he showed that he is every bit as good, if not better, than he was last year. Was it a lesser field that he meets here? Yeah, but this kind of effort's still going to make him the horse to beat. And there's no reason to believe he can't run better. No concerns about the distance as well. Cody's Wish is very simply the horse to beat, and it'll be interesting to see what he does here and what he does going forward. Is he going to look at the Forego, where they look to stretch him out in Saratoga? But he may have his hands full with some rivals in this race, and particularly Charge It for trainer Todd Pletcher. Now, when he won the Dwyer last year, a sensational win by 23 lengths, Todd Pletcher was thinking big 3-year-old races. But somewhere in the back of his mind, he was thinking the Met Mile with this horse because it fits him so perfectly. And that huge win last year in the Dwyer, yeah, you could say he beat a much lesser field, but let's take a step back and let's take a look at Running Son of a Gun, who finished way behind him, as you'll see. He's a grade 2, grade 3 type runner, so he's not at the very top of the heat, but he's a very, very solid racehorse, and he was dismissed like he didn't belong in this race whatsoever. Now, Charge It came back this year with a very good effort, but he has been disappointing since. I know he didn't win at the 1-turn mile at Gulfstream 2 back, but I still think it's what's going to suit him best. He's training well coming into this race, and today is the day for Charge It to show if he's good enough to win these upper echelon races. And I'm taking a shot with him to upset Cody's Wish, but he's not the only contender. There's, of course, Repo Rocks and Zandon. Now, Repo Rocks, we'll show him in a couple of races here at Belmont, one at Belmont and one at Aqueduct. He won the prep for this, and he won it quite easily, and that was the Westchester. Zandon was in there, and he finished second and well back in second. The difference, though, is a couple of things. Zandon is going to get much more pace to run at. Speed did well on this day, and having a little trouble getting that video rolling, but no worries about it. You know the horses are. Zandon's going to get a faster pace to run in this Met Mile. And for that reason, I think he's going to run well. He's also a horse that has run well in his second start off a layoff throughout his career. So I do believe you'll see a good effort. Will it be good enough to win? Is he good enough to win? That remains to be seen. As far as Repo Rocks, his 111 buyer in the Toboggan and his 109 buyer in the Westchester would arguably make him the horse to beat in here. The problem is, where did they come from and where is the consistency? Because for 2 starts after Toboggan, he ran races that will not get him anything in here, and I don't trust him to run back to the Westchester. But to totally dismiss him might be a mistake. But look what he did in the Grade 1 Carter. While he did finish a respectable second here, he lost to Doppelganger, the long shot, who's back again in this Met Mile. Now, I don't know how Doppelganger is going to win it because he got unusually good circumstances in here, and he still ran a buyer figure nowhere nearly good enough to win. Neither did Repo Rocks, but he lost to Doppelganger. I wonder if these horses ultimately are going to class up to the top horses they're running against here. But listen, if you like either Doppelganger or Repo Rocks, the prices will be good. Though of the horses we've shown in these 2 races, I prefer Zandon. We'll turn our attention to another horse in here, and that's White Abarrio. White Abarrio has a trainer switch to Rick Dutrow. Rick Dutrow recently back training after he served a 10-year suspension. And if you're not familiar with Rick Dutrow, you're not familiar with Big Brown, you're not familiar with St. Liam, who was Horse of the Year, Rick knows how to get a good horse to win big races, and this is his last win, a decisive win over some pretty good horses, including Weyburn, who came back with a stakes win in his next start at Gulfstream at 7 furlongs, and he ran a very effective race, finishing 3rd in our Cigar Mile at Aqueduct last year, a Grade 1. White Abarrio's good. He's knocking on the door of being good enough, and if you think he can take a step forward for Rick Dutrow, maybe he's a horse that has a chance to upset this Met Mile. He is good enough to at least be discussed. I think a wild card in here is Dr. Schivel. Dr. Schivel had finished second in the Breeders' Cup Sprint a couple of years ago. That's 2 years ago behind Aloha West. He didn't have much of a campaign. He tried the Malibu, and like everybody, got dusted by Flightline. They shipped him over to Dubai, where he ran his only race of 2022, but he came back, and I know it was a 3-horse field last time. But make no mistake, he crushed them with his best career buyer. And Mark Glad, his trainer, shipping him across for this very, very important race. I have some friends that think he's a major player. I'm not one of them, but he ran well enough last time that he shouldn't be ignored. No doubt Cody's Wish is the horse to beat in this Hillendale Met Mile, but I'm going to try to beat him with Charge It. I put Charge It on top, the number 5. The number 1, Cody's Wish, will be my second choice. Zandon, my third choice. I think he's going to get the pace, and I think he's going to run very well. I just don't know if that'll be good enough. White Abario is 4th. The Met Mile, all the stakes, all the races, Belmont Stakes Day, Belmont Stakes Weekend, anytime. The best way to play it is through NYRABets. Head on over to NYRABets.com. Use the promo code Belmont25. We'll match the $200 of your initial deposit, and we'll give you a free $25 bet on this Belmont Stakes Weekend. Good luck.